Hello, Joe here from Scarff Ford. Today we're going to talk about this amazing 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid. One amazing high-performance sedan. Really, this thing will kind of ruin you as far as performance cars go. Once you experience the brutal acceleration this thing can deliver, the acceleration of this thing can put many supercars to shame with just how amazing this thing accelerates. You have over 1,000 horsepower. From 3 motors, carbon wrapped. To be worthy of the Plaid name, you have to have those carbon sleeved motors. And this thing is so fast. When they first came out and they started taking these to the drag strips to drag racing, they're actually getting kicked off the drag strip because they're going too fast. Legally, by the NHRA rules, you're supposed to have a roll cage and a parachute with how fast these things can go. These can do the quarter mile in a little over 10 seconds at 160 miles an hour. And with electric motors, you have instantaneous acceleration and torque. With a gas engine, the engine has to rev up to its power band. Sometimes the transmission has to downshift. With this, you just have one gear, and you have instantaneous acceleration. It's almost like the speed of thought, how quick this thing can accelerate. But it's also a very comfortable and luxurious sedan. It's almost like an electric S-Class Mercedes. The Model S was one of the first products to come out from Tesla. We first started seeing the original Model S arrive right around 2012, 2013. They've kind of kept the same basic shape, but when they did a full refresh on it in 2021, they kind of kept the design, but the inside, the mechanics of it, new motors, new battery technology, and a completely redesigned interior. It is far different than the original Model S, even though it kind of keeps that same beautiful look. And it is an absolutely beautiful vehicle. I think it's one of the prettiest cars on the road, and it's also very aerodynamic. When the Model S first came out, it had one of the lowest drag coefficients out of any vehicle on the road. Even though it's a beautiful, sexy design, it had a lower drag coefficient than some of the best ones out there, like the Nissan Leaf and the Chevy Bolt at the time. And we could probably say this looks far better than a Bolt, a Leaf, or a Toyota Prius. This one has the upgraded Arachnid wheels. I think right now those are a $5,500 upgrade in the Tesla store. When you order a Tesla, it's about a $5,500 upgrade for those Arachnid wheels, and it really makes a big visual difference versus the standard wheels and wheel covers that come on the Model S. It really gives it more of an aggressive look, and those black Arachnid wheels go really nicely with the black exterior. And the black, I think, is a $1,500 or so color option these days on the Model S. So you have vegan leather. The leather is perforated. It's synthetic leather. They stopped putting real leather in Teslas right around 2017, but it feels and looks convincingly real. And you can have the peace of mind that you're not sacrificing any animals. We have a wireless charging pad, this nice carbon look trim, plenty of storage. And then we have this huge screen. The original Model S had a vertical screen. They went horizontal with the redesigned Model S. Very crisp display, high resolution. You have amazing parking cameras as well. We notice on the Model S it's available with either a yoke or a regular steering wheel. When it first came out, it was just only available with a yoke. Not everyone was crazy about the yoke, so luckily this one actually has a regular steering wheel. If you're not a fan of the yoke, this is more preferable to some people. And there are no stocks anymore, so you have like the turn signals here, the horn button, and for going forward and reverse, you can swipe on the screen for forward and backwards. There's also a setting where it can intuitively decide if you need to go into reverse or drive, depending on the parking situation. Obviously, if you're parked in front of a wall, it knows that you're probably going to want to go backwards, so it can intuitively put the vehicle in the direction that you're most likely going to go just by putting the foot in the brake. Or you can use the swiping motion on the screen. But they also have these buttons right here. You hit right here, they light up. You have your hazard lights, and that's another easy way to putting it in gear if you find that a little bit easier. Going to the software screen, we can see this is the Plaid. This has 26,605 miles. We have Autopilot, which is amazing traffic-aware cruise control that allows the vehicle to brake, accelerate, and steer in its own lane. I know full self-driving does get a lot of press, and it is available on this vehicle for $99 a month or $8,000. It's awesome, but Autopilot works pretty good too. Autopilot, unlike a lot of other ADAS systems, you can use Autopilot on regular roads. Just as long as there's lines in the road, the Autopilot will work. So if you're stuck in stop and go traffic, the Autopilot will be absolute godsend. If you have to drive a lot on the highway, you'll really come to enjoy the Autopilot. It does have limitations versus full self-driving. I almost call Autopilot like full self-driving light, because it does have some semi-autonomous features to it. Not quite as to the level of full self-driving, but if you're not ready to go to the full FSD, the Autopilot, like I said, is an absolute godsend for people who drive a lot, especially in stop-and-go traffic or long slogs on the highway. We have an awesome infotainment system. They add a lot of different games. You can play the games. Some of the driving games, you can actually use the steering wheel and brake and accelerator pedal on the car to drive the car in the game. Or if you wish to do so, you can actually get a like an Xbox style controller. You can even get a keyboard and wireless mouse to play some of these games. It actually has a pretty fast processor in it, so it can play some pretty graphics intensive games, believe it or not. Then we have theater mode. You can't do this while you're driving, but if you're parked and waiting to charge, or your spouse is in the store and you're inside waiting, you can watch Netflix, YouTube. They're constantly rolling out new features. Then we have the toy box, where you have the boom box where you can talk through the horn. You can make the horn sound like a fart or a goat. You can have it play a light show. If you decide to wrap the car, you have a colorizer so you can change the avatar of your vehicle to match your wrap. You have the silly thing like the whoopee cushion, multi-track recorder. Some of the stuff is like silly parlor tricks. Some of the stuff is actually helpful and functional. The Model S Plaid also has an advanced air suspension, so it can you can really tailor the feel of the vehicle. You can put it in comfort mode, sport mode, and also if you don't want to go full on, fast, you can put it in chill or sport mode. You don't have to put it in plaid mode or drag strip mode. There's also a launch mode. This thing is pretty much, when you come to maximum acceleration, this thing, it's almost uncomfortable, or it is uncomfortable for some people, how brutal this thing can accelerate. If you're a fan of performance vehicles, you've driven a lot of performance cars, I can tell you, after experiencing the acceleration in the S, it might be hard to go back to anything else. There's those lovely arachnid wheels. This thing looks beautiful in black on black. The other nice thing about these Plaids, that they've come down so much in price over the years. When the Plaids first came out, they were selling new and on the pre-owned market for $120,000, some $140,000. Now you can get a nice 2021 example like this in 2024, 2025 in the $60,000 price range. So far from the big six-figure price tag. And compare the performance of this thing to a lot, what other vehicle can you buy for $60,000 that has a full warranty on it, that has over 1,000 horsepower? There's not a lot of other vehicles. And the thing with Teslas too is the maintenance costs. Even though this is a 1,000 horsepower supercar, it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. There's no, complex 30, 60, 90K services, no full synthetic oil changes. Pretty much the only thing that you're gonna have to service is wiper blades, cabin filters, and tires. And with regenerative braking, the brakes can last 150, 100,000 miles plus. When they redesigned the S, they also added a rear screen, so you have rear climate control. You can also watch movies or play video games back here, or listen to music. You have rear heated seats. Even though the Model S has a sedan profile, it has a very utilitarian lift back, which is a little bit more easier to take cargo in and out. You can fold down those rear seats for a lot more cargo space. You can remove this cargo area cover. Then we also have more storage space under here. Normally there'd be a gas tank or an exhaust system, but since this is an EV, a complete clean sheet design, you don't have any of that stuff like a gas car. You have even more storage. Well, there we go, a beautiful example of a 2021 Model S Plaid. This one's in great shape. Unbelievable vehicle, unbelievable technology. It's also one of the safest vehicles on the road, let alone one of the fastest and most technologically advanced. It checks off a lot of boxes. It's beautiful, it's fast, it's fun, it's packed with technology, it's very safe. The Model S Plaid is really, truly an amazing vehicle.